Welcome back to the STP essay, Part 6 and 7, brought to you by the Men on the Border Facebook group. Link is in the description. STP Part 6. On June 7th, 1967, Dr. David E. Smith founded the Free Clinic in Haight-Ashbury, San Francisco. This was the very first of its kind in the United States at a time and place that would give David a unique exposure. David had no siblings, and his parents died when he was in his teens. With the money they left him, he bought an apartment on the outskirts of the Haight and made his home there. He went to school at the University of San Francisco Medical School from 1960 to 1964, specializing in the effects of drugs on the mind, especially LSD and methamphetamines, also known as speed. David had some personal experiences with drugs as well. It was in fact after taking LSD that he had a cultural transformation and ended up starting the Haight-Ashbury Free Clinic. After I took LSD, I got involved in the counterculture. The air moved, and you became one with the world. Suddenly, you had to help the poor. There was this consciousness transformation that happened during that time. The new life and work would very soon begin in earnest for David E. Smith, as he would receive many more patients than he ever would have expected and help countless people in dire need. Part 7. Monterey Pop Festival came and went. People were sure to wear some flowers in their hair, and even though the main act, the Beach Boys, had to pull out at the last minute, with the mysteriously damaged leader at home. The Summer of Love 1967 had come to a wonderful start. The grand opening for the summer, however, was scheduled for the solstice on June 21st in San Francisco's Golden Gate Park. The invitation called for an exhausting day. Sunrise ceremony, 4 to 5 a.m. at Twin Peaks. Pilgrimage to Park down Haight Street, 8 to 9 a.m. Day-long festivities throughout the park, barbecue, picnic, polo fields, sunset pilgrimage to the beach, rising moon ceremonies on the beach, bring costumes, gongs, cymbals, bells, horns, chants, beauty, peace, harmony, and flowers. The sudden mass emergence of STP is shrouded in mystery. Whether it was the result of a theft of Dow's formula, Dow Chemical, a leak of supplies of the actual drug, or an independent discovery of some underground chemist is uncertain. In addition, it was reported from somebody close to the drug, underground, that the manufacturer was distributing the drug free of charge. The whole setup was suspicious indeed, and it is still food for conspiracy theories. The background and reasoning unknown. The fact is that on this special summer solstice day, 5,000 tablets of STP were given away for free. The result of this new drug, at an unbelievably high dosage and long onset time, was a wave of bad trips, and some 60 people came down to professional attention all on the same day. David E. Smith and the Free Clinic had plenty of work on their hands. As one user put it, LSD is just better for everything. Laughing, music, meditating, fun, visuals. Just going with the flow. DOM, also known as STP, doesn't offer anything but sensory overload, paranoia, aches, artificial forced high with no magic. So I hope you will join me in part 8, which will be coming up shortly. I do want to comment, but I also don't want this to turn into my thing. I'm trying to read this essay and share this information with you, but at the same time I want to try to elaborate, considering the mystery. Where did this stuff come from, and what was going on at the time? Like culturally, we had this massive thing that happened that was the hippie, anti-war, LSD, tune in, turn in, drop out. And that seems to me to be a manufactured thing. Like the CIA released the LSD. These bands were manufactured. If you look into weird scenes inside the canyon, this book that claims that all of these bands came out of the military, these claims that the Beatles didn't write any of their music, that it was Theodore Adorno, that they were merely the Monkees, and they came out of this Tavistock Institute for Human Studies, which is part of MI6, kind of. So it appears to me that the genie was out of the bottle, that they put this thing in motion, which would erode at the ideals of the 50s, the fact of a patriarch or a father being the head of the family, people going to church, having sets of morals, and it's turned into this just get high, if it feels good, do it, completely removing any sense of responsibility. And ultimately, all of that shifted into this anti-war thing, which I don't think they ever dreamed that was going to be the outcome of this. Because war is the ultimate machine. That's the top game that is played. So they needed to do something, and they needed to do something fast. And what they did, they turned off the tap on LSD. They stopped the sale of raw lysergic acid, which is the main ingredient needed to make LSD. And instead, they threw out this STP. They gave it away. Dow Chemical had the formula. All of a sudden, it's on the streets. And believe me, when a company has a formula for a new whatever it may be, in this case it's a drug, they don't give it away. But that was not the case in the Summer of Love, which quickly came to an end, and these people that had gotten into a habit of smoking grass and taking LSD, all of a sudden that was gone, and those people ended up getting strung out on speed and heroin and dying. And many of them that were exposed to this STP stuff, which was hailed as a brand new wonderful miracle drug. You can tell David Crosby's got the sticker on his guitar. Jimi Hendrix writes the song, that in fact they were being told by someone. There was handlers out there who were saying something new is coming down the pike, and it's so much better than LSD. You can't wait till you try it. It's so much better, and they were championing this thing, and then it comes out literally at this ceremony. 5,000 pills that were, a normal dose is supposed to be 1 to 5 milligrams, and this is 20 milligrams, so it's guaranteed to give you a bummer trip, a horrific experience, because this is speed. It's a psychedelic speed. LSD is not speed. It's just a psychedelic compound. So again, all of this is just my conjecture. It could be very well that it wasn't a nefarious force that made these speed tablets that were between 20 and 4 times the maximum strength that they needed to be, and gave them out en masse to everybody at the Hague, which was a huge problem. I mean, they did an effigy where they burned the hippie, the thing with the Charles Manson murders, which just reeks of a conspiracy theory if you get down and look at it. If you actually look at like how Charles Manson was handled by his parole officers, and there's all kinds of stuff involving that with Roman Polanski. That's all really, really weird stuff. Really, really weird stuff that points to the occult connections between the Beatles and Charles Manson that go beyond the normal helter-skelter tale. And there's hints, listen to the Beatles song, Dig It. Was Doris Day replaced? What was going on with Terry Melcher? Did the Beatles in fact take LSD? All of them with Charles Manson. Yeah, they did, and it was at Doris Day's house. Or it may have been her son, Terry Melcher. But there is so much more to the story that we don't know. I'm bringing you this story because I was aware of this drug STP since when I was a kid. And it just stuck out to me like a sore thumb that I had read about it and then it disappeared. Stopped reading about it. Then when I looked into it later on, I found out that it was a really, really bad drug. And I developed this theory that this is in fact what had caused Sid Barrett to completely lose it. Same thing with Peter Green, and I'm sticking by that story, and there's going to be more of that coming up in the STP episode. So if you have a Facebook account, head over to the Men on the Border Facebook group and show them some love, and I will see you soon in part 8. Peace.